Hey there, everybody. Welcome back with the Purplatypus is the name, and today we're talking Tytos. All right, let's cut that. Let's cut that and let's just start over. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back with the Plat. Today we're talking Tytos. Is that how you say his name? I honestly don't know. But this is one of the three big bads that was added in the game. Very cool character, very cool. I know it, you know it, we all know it. But we're going to do a little bit of a review on him. But goddamn, am I going to leave this stupid cave because it is so loud in there. Jesus. All right. Plus, I like the song more. It's a little creepier. So what is it about Tytos that makes him potentially worth pulling? First, let's even see if he is worth pulling, all right? Let's read his stuff. Actually, because I already have his skills, we can go to change skills, and it'll show me here at the bottom. Tyrant's High. High Tyrant. Impart self with physical attack up 20% when an intimidated enemy is present. So this is kind of right here summarizes the entire cornerstone of why you might want this unit, what makes him good, and kind of what makes him not so good in some other aspects. Not that he's bad in any aspect, but if we're going to compare him directly to the other two units on the banner, I would say that this guy is the weakest potentially, probably. But he does bring something no other character in the entire game does, and that is the intimidated status effect. Unless it's in the game and I just don't fucking know it, this is the only character I've ever seen with this, which means we need to get someone to back him up because he has to imply it himself right now, which is part of the downside. I think we'll get into it. Raise sword damage by self by 15% and critical damage by 15%. So he actually hits with crits really hard, which is really cool. So overall, 20% increased attack and 15 increased sword damage. And overall, these do stack, right? Because these are different stats. 20%. So it's kind of like an effective 35% when he's attacking, but not exactly. So those are very, very good. Let's actually take a look. What's his ultimate here? It's a pretty simple one. Deal physical sword damage to a single foe. Potency of 545. It goes up and down all around. 20% more potent if target is intimidated. So this is very similar to Herminia, where she has the bleed synergy. This guy has the intimidation synergy. However, bleed is everywhere in the game. Intimidation, I've literally never seen outside of him. But let's take a look at his skills here. You know what? Yeah, we'll start with the skills. So this guy, well, we'll go through it. Fourfold slash, 4 sword attacks to an enemy. Daunting look, intimidate random foe 2 times. Intimidate, what it does is lowers physical defense and elemental defense by 5%. Deal physical sword damage to all foes, brutal sweep, garbage. Stormwind, deal elemental lightning damage to all foes and intimidate them for 2 turns. Deal physical sword damage to a single foe and intimidate them for 2 turns. So the thing is, Daunting Look intimidates twice, so it'll stack twice as fast and it'll last twice. If you're going up against like one boss, Daunting Look could be good because it'll go to 4 turns per action, and I think probably when you do if you use BP, it'll increase the amount of stacks going on, so you don't have to do it as much, whereas Intimidating Slash and Stormwind are going to increase the damage. You could target it, but you're going to have to use these way more frequently. So I do think Daunting Look actually has some pretty good synergy, or pretty good use cases. All right, completed Scarlet Elixir, maybe literally his coolest attack. Raise crit and damage itself by 20%. So I assume this is not passive, so the damage 20% doesn't stack in that weird way, right? So this will be, if there's an intimidated enemy, he's getting 20% attack, he's getting 15% sword damage, and if he uses this, he's getting another 20% damage and 20% crit and 15% crit. So it's like all these stacking bonuses are a lot. He could hit fucking hard. But also grant automatic revival once per battle. This one does not expire. The top part expires, where the 20%, you want to boost this so you get that for the most amount of turns possible. But then if you boost it, you're not using your BP to deal damage. So maybe you want like an Alphin if you're doing something like this. Normally you don't want to use, oh, here 1 second. This is me playing Commander with my friends. Oh shit, oh shit. Let me turn this off. Oh no, they're looking at all my porn. All right. But so you want this to last as many turns as possible because this is like just an insane buff. But you don't really need to use BP on this in general, like because other characters can buff his attack with these active things. Like if you have a Lynette in the party and stuff, like they could do that. But you want to use this at least once on really tough fights because it gives them automatic revival. And then you could, if it like a really badass attack is coming up, you could force someone to taunt him, and then he's guaranteed to survive the attack. Not at 1 HP, but at 100% HP. Unless, I don't know if it's like 6 hits and he dies on the first hit. If he revives and then takes the rest and then dies a second time, it's possible. I don't know, actually. But passive revival, not passive, you have to actively use it, but it is very good. Physical interceptor stance grants self the ability to completely block some physical attacks one time and counter with sword damage and intimidation. So this is actually pretty good. The fact that it does a potency of 230 and it doesn't have a set amount of turns. It just goes until it triggers, and then it does intimidation. This is just pretty good. 230 potency is the same as in his intimidating slash. The only reason you would use the physical interceptor stance is that it also completely blocks the damage you would take. So you could use this hypothetically against a physical user every single turn. You get the same damage as intimidating slash, but you're taking 0 damage in return. So honestly, an incredibly powerful ability. But a lot of these abilities are, we'll talk about it. Quick as a flash, deal elemental lightning damage to a foe 5 times. Fucking insane shield breaker. It's great at breaking shields. You'd never use this for damage. The potency is low, but beyond that, he is a warrior with low elemental attack. And you don't want to give him like a Tilken sword because he's not a primary mage. He's primarily an attacker. He just has some great shield breaking potential. And then finally, merciless slash. Deal physical sword damage to a single foe, potency 260, but 20% more potent if the target is intimidated. So this is a super powerful hit because 20% more potent is, well, we've seen what the 15% potency could do on fortune weapons and, you know, soul weapons. This is 20% on, so it just does an insane amount of damage. It makes it feel like you're breaking the game. Like Herminia, that's why she seems so strong, I think, is that she gets extra potency when there's a bleeding target. Now, there's a few issues with his kit. One, there's not enough skill slots to use the skills that you might want to use because he's a good shield breaker, right? 4 times sword, 5 times lightning. But if you want to be able to use him as a damage dealer instead of a shield breaker, you need things like merciless slash, and then you need some way. So it could be stormwind, it could be intimidating slash, it could be physical interceptor stance, but you need to intimidate foes. Daunting look is a good way to do it too, but because it's guaranteed and it's pretty easy. So you need to get intimidation yourself, spend turns doing intimidation. Then you could spend turns dealing damage and attacking. But then if you're spending turns doing that, then you don't really have good slots for attacking, right? Because like if you only have the 3 slots, right? Is that how many we got? Let me make sure. Change skills. I have 4 slots. Because I have him awaken level 2. But typically you have 3. So assuming that he's at 3, right? So what's the situation? All right, first you want to be able to do intimidate. So you bring physical interceptor stance because it might be the best one. Then you want to be able, that's a sword weakness, so you want to be able to break their shield. So you bring 4-fold slash. And then you want to be able to deal damage, and so now you have merciless slash, which is your most powerful attack. But then like you can't take completed scarlet elixir, right? Or you can't take you know, your lightning thing. So it's like, I feel like his abilities are all a little niche and they don't cover everything. He does really good damage, but I think he needs a little bit of backup from the intimidation standpoint. If he could bypass needing to intimidate foes, I think that his whole kit would come together much better. But here's the thing. The reason why I said he's kind of irreplaceable is, like I said, he could do intimidation, which is the way I'm interpreting it by reading it. Lower physical defense and elemental defense by 5%. Like, that doesn't sound that good, but this should stack on top of everything else. I don't see why it wouldn't. Maybe if I'm misunderstanding, let me know. But from what I've seen, this stacks on top. So if you have Viola do a minus 20% or 25%, and then you know, or you get to the cap of 30%, this can go above that 30% cap to further lower their defense and elemental defense. And then while it's lowered, you also are dealing a fuck ton of damage. And overall, his ult is really good too. It does a lot of damage, but they have to be intimidated because 545 potency plus 20% more potent. Now that's some fucking damage. You're getting to, people are probably going to be getting the damage cap, and then once they do that, it'll get less good. But this ability will help you get the damage cap way easier, I think. Which I think is 100,000 or 99,999, you know. So let's actually take a look at his A4 accessory here. If I remember how, it's the awaken button. Start a battle, intimidate all enemies for 6 turns. This is really good, but it's incredibly niche. 6 turns is a long time, and a lot of fights go longer than that. But it is good. I really wish it gave him something more like using when you apply intimidate, apply it twice as much or something. I don't know. But the thing is, someone else can use this equip, right? You don't need to equip this on him. You can put this on anyone else, and then they intimidate for him, and then, or you can put it on him either way. But then it's easy to keep the intimidation going. You don't need to do it nearly as much. It's not like it falls off in 6 turns because you'll be using attacks that can increase it, right? If you just use the Thunder God thing, it's always up, you know, because it'll add 1 turn. It's not Thunder God. I don't remember what it's called. Stormwind, which makes me think of World of Warcraft. So let's go ahead and take him into a fight really quick. Let's go ahead and make sure he has a sword, and then we're going to switch out Sophia here for a minute, and we're going to put Viola in. Where's Viola at? What am I filtering by? Viola should be like my highest level character, almost. I can't believe Adette's one of my highest level characters. Anyway, let's go ahead and find a fight here. And what better way to show his power than intimidating low level enemies? I could go to hell, but no. That's not what I'm about. So here's what we want to do. Oh, I forgot. I think they'll live here. So let's go ahead and do debilitate. Yeah, and that does increase potency, which is part of the issue. All right, let's take a look. Hopefully we don't kill him. Motherfucker, bro. All right, give me a second here. Give me a second here. Get him out of here. These dang a-holes. All right, let's actually set up a proper team. All right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to come right here. That way I can show you exactly what I want to show you. We're going to come right here. We're going to go party. Viola. Tytos. He's level 88. Remove. 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 All right, and we come here, and we're actually going to give him the playwright's quill too. Don't worry, Cyrus, you'll get it back. I'm not done farming with you yet, but this will let us see. Oh, change skills. I want to use instead of Stormwind, we've seen that one. I want to see Daunting Look, and then I want to see Merciless Slash. Like, Merciless Slash is a great skill, but because it's only good against broken foes dealing damage, it's not, like, insane a lot of the time. So, you're going to go ahead and debilitate. You're going to go ahead and Daunting Look. And look at, yeah, it increases the number of turns. So, let's take a look here. So, physical defense down, elemental defense down. You hit the wrong foe, you fucking asshole. Well, we've seen the downside. All right, let's do that. You hit it. All right, well, he's intimidated, all right? He's terrified. We can see it. All right, so now let's take a look. So we got intimidated. We got physical. I wish it showed total stats, numbers, or whatever. But yeah, these look like they totally stack, right? So you have the physical defense down, elemental defense down, Viola, and then intimidated will go on top of anything, which is why I think it's so powerful. And kind of irreplaceable. So let's see, no weakness through shields, what this guy does, and then Crimson Blast. I think Crimson Blast is the... I just got a new dagger for Violet. Check this out. Thunderblade's Brutality. Yep, you become big boy. 23,000, no weakness through shields. Like, not broken. I mean, they are low-level enemies, but I still think that's probably pretty good. It's mostly, again, we're not trying to show damage numbers here as much. I don't have the highest, the most well cared for account right now. I'm still catching up with everybody, and I will be for a while, but it's more to show off the animations and the styles and the synergies, things like that. So that is what Tytos is all about. I think he's a really good character. I think he's just a little more niche than, it's harder for, like, August is simple, right? If you use his alt or he starts doing his like passionate, he just guaranteed crits and gets 3 BP every single turn. You just stab something in the face like 6 turns in a row for like 20,000 damage. Just yeah, again and again and again. Very straightforward character, although good. And then Herminia, just like, the applying bleed is pretty good, but then she has the ability to completely recover her own SP, completely recover her own HP, to break. She also is a shield breaker, pretty decent. Not as quite as good, I think, overall as Tytos here. But she does almost as much damage, and it's a way easier status effect to just go on because she applies it like 30% of the time passively when she just fights. And so they're just like good, powerful characters. And Tytos is good and he is powerful. You just got to kind of, I always feel like I never quite have the skill equipped that I want, or the right combinations of skill equipped that I want for a single situation. Because he doesn't just come in and kill trash or come in and kill bosses. Sometimes he's the best on the team, and sometimes I'm like, what are you doing? Like, as cool as completed Scarlet Elixir is, like, it feels like I never want it, you know? Like, I'm like, does the revive that good? Maybe in some situations, but the self buff isn't that good. I think I'm probably underselling physical interceptor stance, though. I want to try that one out more. I don't know how it works on multi attacks. If you're just gonna, if something hits 3 times, if it's gonna block the first one or if it's gonna block the whole instance of damage. But overall, I do think he's a good character, and if this is the one you got, I think he's gonna be a huge boon to your account. The thing is, we just have a lot of really strong warriors, and you know, he's a strong warrior too, but we have more strong warriors coming up, so he just has like a rough go of it, I think, overall, but still great character. Gonna give him a 3 out of fish, and that'll be it. Much love. Purplatypus is Purplatypus. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.